First of all, I want to thank Children's Health Defense for the opportunity to serve on the board and to be with you today. This is an organization I recommend for many different reasons. It's a great website, a great source of information, doing powerful litigation all over the United States and doing advocacy and education here in Europe. And I also have to say, if you work as an investment advisor and deal with major federal finances for many, many years, one of the things you finally realize, it takes many years, is the most important investment we all make is in our children. A little closer. And if you read Robert Kennedy's new book, which I cannot recommend highly enough, what you will realize is our children are being poisoned. And our children, what is happening to our children in the United States, we see significant slides in IQ and health, according to any different reasonable statistic. This is the end. You cannot build a human civilization by poisoning your children. There's no future. Closer? Closer. So for many years, I've tracked what I call a financial coup d'etat. So as the baby boomers saved and saved, we've watched tremendous amounts of assets being moved out of sovereign governments around the world, and a tremendous amount of sovereign government paper moved into pension funds. And its value is questionable, whether because you debase the currency or the credits deteriorate. So it was inevitable that a financial coup of many decades, much of it engineered through the digital systems, should culminate in a global coup, a political coup. And that's what we're watching. Under the guise of a health emergency, we're watching the central banks take over the treasuries and the finances of sovereign governments, and sovereignty of governments being imploded. And we are at a juncture where, as Vera says, we have to stop something. We have to do something, because we cannot let this proceed. If we allow not just the mandates, but the vaccine passports or digital IDs or any part of what is considered to be the financial transaction control grid go into place, the combination of those systems together, much of which have been developed for the last 30 years, those systems together will combine into a control grid that can turn our home and our cars into a digital concentration camp. It's what Vera said. We don't need camps. We can use the remote technology to literally turn our own homes, our own cars, and our own communities into digital concentration camps. So we must say no. We must say no to the mandates, but we must say no to the transaction control grid, because that transaction control grid can be used to implement thousands and thousands of meta mandates when it goes into place. You put the passports or the IDs and the CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, together, and they can, if they decide you can't transact more than 5 kilometers from your home, you can't transact more than 5 kilometers from your home. If you can't, if they don't want you driving your car, you can't drive your car. If they don't want you buying pizza, you can't buy pizza. I would strongly encourage anybody who doesn't believe this to go to Solari.com and click on a title called Cash Friday. We're encouraging people to use cashes. Mary's wonderful idea. And you will see a 56-second video of the general manager of the Bank of International Settlements in Basel, Switzerland, the central bank of central bank, explain that with CBDC as a replacement or a digital currency, they can make the rules of how the currency is used, and they can enforce the rules centrally. Let that sit in centrally. So one great activist said that the implementation of the passports is the end of human liberty in the West, and that is in fact true if we let this control grid go in. Robert F. Kennedy says you can't stop tyranny by complying. And so what I ask you, we cannot comply with the mandates. We cannot comply with the passports. We cannot comply with any part of a financial control grid, whether they change the name from passports and do it with biometrics and ID, whichever way they do it. This is the fight for freedom and liberty. And what I will tell you again as an investment advisor, most of our wealth in the West comes from the benefits of freedom. And when you give away freedom, you give away anything. When the World Economic Forum says it's 2030 and you have no assets and you're happy, what I hear is it's 2030, we have stripped you of your assets, which may include stripping you of your children, and you're mind controlled. Ladies and gentlemen, don't let that happen.